Hi everyone, Dr. Frankie here, and I'm just trying to keep warm. It is so cold, and I know I'm such a wimp. I'm originally from New York City, and now I live in Northern California, and it's been like 25 years that I've been in California, and I have become totally a wimp. So I've got my space heater next to me, the heat's going, and I have a huge wool sweater on, and I'm still cold. So anyway, wherever you are, I hope you're staying warm. And thanks for joining me today and for supporting me, my channel. For those of you that are new to me, I'm Dr. Frankie Bashan, a clinical psychologist who's been practicing for over 2 decades. I'm also a board certified sex therapist, and the CEO of Little Gay Book, which is a national LGBTQ plus matchmaking firm that's been around for 17 years. And here I just talk about lots of things that make people uncomfortable, but they're curious about it. And there aren't many people talking about it from an educated, informed place. So I take the opportunity to stand on my platform and kind of speak about things that are taboo, make people uncomfortable, maybe stigmatized, things like that. So I'm glad to be here with you. And I'm grateful to all of my supporters for continuing to show up, comment and share and like the things that I put out there. It reminds me that I'm doing exactly what I should be doing and what feels right to me. That's super in alignment is to do this work. So I will continue to show up and serve in this way as it's incredibly rewarding to me. And I see that people benefit from it. So it just makes sense to keep doing it. So if you're new and you're curious about growing and learning and sometimes getting a little messy in the process, then you've come to the right place. Click below, hit that bell and hit all notifications so that you can find out when I drop my videos. Usually it's, 1 to 3 videos a week. And if you have any topics that you're interested in learning more about or that I haven't covered in the past, I'm always interested in hearing what it is that you want to hear more of or want to hear that I haven't covered. So please post below, let me know. And thanks again for being here. So today I'm going to talk about public sex and why taking risks turns many people on. Having sex in public is one of the most common fantasies in the United States. As many as 57% of women have fantasized about having sex in a public place. Public sex can be risky, difficult, and even physically uncomfortable. Remember, hooking up in the backseat of a car as a teen, not so comfy. So why is it so appealing to so many people? Here's why taking risks like public sex turns some people on, maybe even you. Cruising as a public practice. For some subcultures, especially gay male communities, public sex has a historic and cultural context that goes beyond a kink or a fetish. Based in a time when gay identity was too taboo to date openly in the way that straight people did, a culture of public cruising has been part of gay culture for generations and survived through the HIV/AIDS crisis. Specifically, cruising describes the act of seeking out a sex partner in a public place like a park, a bathhouse, or a public restroom, usually a space popularly frequented by other gay men for this purpose. Partners found while cruising are typically casual and anonymous, short-term connections, a stranger you meet for the purpose of briefly having anonymous sex in public. Cruising has its own agreed-upon norms and standards for behavior, and people in the space generally know to expect propositions of public sex and to be comfortable with public sex happening around them. An adrenaline rush of risk. Whether you're a regular base jumper or find merging onto the highway a little rich for your blood, you're familiar with how heady and intense adrenaline can be, the chemical cocktail that floods our brains and bodies when we do something that feels risky or new. For some of us, that feeling is almost unbearable and we associate it with fear or anxiety. For others, it can be almost an addictive thing. Sex is already a heady experience based around the pursuit of such potent brain chemicals as dopamine and oxytocin. For those of us that enjoy the high of an adrenaline rush, adding it to the mix makes everything even more intense. The backseat of a car, the dark alley behind the bar, or the supply closet at work, the risks of being caught or seen by others in these locations varies from brief social embarrassment to serious professional consequences to criminal charges for public lewdness. Paradoxically, knowing this can be a turn on or at least an intensifier for someone who finds risk to be exciting or intoxicating to some degree. The enduring appeal of the taboo. For many people, sex becomes even more appealing and erotic when it has some element of the taboo to it, even between consenting adults. Many of the most popular sexual fantasies are based around the idea of having a kind of sex you shouldn't have, or having sex with someone you shouldn't have sex with, like a teacher or student role play, sleeping with your boss, things like this. Public sex plays on this idea of a taboo, or having sex in a way you aren't supposed to, in a place you aren't supposed to be, in a place where you might get caught. Even lightly naughty places like a friend's house while you're house sitting can add some electricity and spark to your run-of-the-mill sex life. For some couples, doing something bad or against the rules like public sex heightens the intensity and excitement of sex, as well as the emotional connection. It can be a powerful bond to get away with doing something together, bringing you closer and letting you share the rush of pulling off something you weren't supposed to. Exhibitionism for its own sake. For some people who enjoy public sex, the rush isn't about avoiding being caught, it's about the thrill of being seen. For exhibitionists, the idea of being watched or seen in a sexual context is a huge turn-on. Having sex in a situation where they might plausibly be witnessed or where they can plausibly fantasize about an audience can heighten the intensity and enjoyment of sex. For an exhibitionist, even having sex in a high-rise apartment with the windows open or in a field where hikers could potentially pass by can be a fulfillment of a fantasy. Exhibitionism can be about the thrill of taboo, but also about your own desirability. The idea of having an audience and imagining them turned on by watching us can make us feel desirable and empowered by our own sex appeal, even if it's a hypothetical audience we fantasize about while having sex in public or semi-public. That's what I have for you folks today. Hope it was helpful. If you think somebody might benefit from it, please share it. If you like it, show us. I want to hear it. If you have a reaction or response, please comment below, and I do my best to respond. So I will see y'all next week. Kisses, hugs, take really good care. Bye, everyone.